Is ejected from the game. Unsportsmanlike conduct is charged to both head coaches of the teams. Their first of the game. Those offset. First down.
So first down, Ohio State. After all of that.
And I can draw it up for you. You see this overload look right here. All these guys are rushing. They've got more guys on that side crashing in than Ohio State would have been able to block over the edge anyway. It opens wide open for Mirko to run it.
And the wide receiver Crookshank is now ejected from the game after the hit, and then Greg Schiano came all the way over from the Rutgers sideline to the Ohio State sideline, and they got jawing at one another. Oh boy.
Marathon has the fuel to keep your engine running at peak performance, because you never know where life is going to take you.
Angie's List is now Angie, and it's easier than ever to get your projects done right. With Angie, you can connect with top pros and see ratings and reviews. And when you book and pay through Angie, you're covered by our happiness guarantee. Check out Angie.com today. Angie, and done.
It's Taco Bell's double steak grilled cheese burrito with all that steak, nacho cheese sauce, shredded cheese, and even more melty cheese grilled on top. It's back, the double steak grilled cheese burrito, only at Taco Bell.
There is something about watching in Dallas. It just always feels so big. This is one of the best rivalries in the game. How much pressure is there on Dallas?
This is Dallas. Every year we're talking about a hot seat.
Zeke Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, they have the pieces. There's a lot on the line for both these teams.
That was incredible.
The NFL, Sunday on Fox, home of Super Bowl 57.
If you're looking for the biggest Big Ten experience, then welcome home. The Big Ten Plus app, powered by Big Ten Network. Personalized with your pass so you get your favorite Big Ten sports and schools streaming and on demand. We're the home of compelling stories, the iconic games, hundreds of exclusive events you can't find anywhere else. Because when it comes to the Big Ten sports you love, there's no plus like home. Only on the Big Ten Plus app, powered by Big Ten Network. Download and subscribe now.
Well, pregame friendly chatter between Ryan Day and Greg Schiano, two guys who worked here in 2017 and 2018 together. And their remarks about each other have always been positive. But after that last play on the fake punt, Greg Schiano comes all the way over, and they were pretty heated, jawing at each other.
Yeah, and I want to be very clear about this because, you know, maybe you want your punter to have a little bit more awareness to just let it go in that situation. But the look on the field, those guys crashing down, bunch of grass in front of him, like, I don't think Ryan Day was intending for that to happen. And if that was the issue between him and Greg Schiano there, it's a tough situation. I know those two guys have a lot of respect for each other.
By the way, there was a 6-yard run before that by Hayden. They're going to give it to him again, and he this time is brought down in the backfield by Maya Nahanatu, so that'll bring up third down. But yeah, again, we both agree. I think the punter was just making a decision on his own because
he's just playing football.
And Greg Schiano, though, is angry. Things haven't gone how he wanted. And
well, and you brought up a good point. We were in the break, but he's got to show his guys that he's got their back too. And that's how I would want my head coach to respond in that situation as well.
Yeah, I mean, players just, you go right down the line. You hear them talk about Greg Schiano, glowing remarks about him and what he's done since his return at the helm there at Rutgers. As this one is going to be incomplete, there is no flag. They say the coverage cleaned by Kassan Abraham on Ballard. So fourth down now. But yeah, I think to a point, Greg Schiano's just trying to get his troops fired up and ready for what's coming up on the schedule.
Yeah, I mean, he's a competitive man, you know, and so any of these situations, I know it doesn't sit well with him, and I've watched him coach before. When he was coordinator here at Ohio State, I could see the fire in him, so not shocking whatsoever. It's just unique seeing a couple of guys who are known as friends in the industry getting after each other like that.
Yeah, and I'm guessing after the game they'll both say, hey, we just got heated, didn't like it. They'll probably shake hands and go their own way. And a fair catch. Good punt by Mirko down inside the 5, who faked it earlier and caused all of the drama. We'll have that post-game handshake for you. Well, could be interesting. 7:53 to play.
Wasn't it? You're never responsible for unauthorized purchases on your Discover card.
The first time Carl used this glove, he struck out a dozen. Now Carl's living with prostate cancer. He still knows how to throw a curveball. And he also knows Xtandi. Xtandi treats metastatic prostate cancer that responds to a medical or surgical treatment to lower testosterone. Xtandi significantly delayed progression of this advanced form of prostate cancer. Xtandi may cause serious side effects, including seizure, a brain condition called PRES, allergic reactions, heart disease that can lead to death, falls, and fractures. Tell your doctor right away if you have loss of consciousness, seizure, quickly worsening headache, decreased alertness, confusion, vision problems, or chest pain. Xtandi can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. The most common side effects include weakness, feeling unusually tired, back and joint pain, hot flashes, constipation, decreased appetite, diarrhea, and high blood pressure. Nice curveball, Carl. Ask your doctor about Xtandi.
The Sport Clips MVP haircut experience is now better than ever. It's our signature scent on a hot steam towel, a 7-point massaging shampoo, and neck and shoulder nirvana. Oh yeah, only at Sport Clips.
Dave, Jake, Jerry, and Howard as we get set to take it back out for the conclusion of this game. Pretty impressive performance by Ohio State after the shaky start.
Yeah, Mayan Williams really stepped up and did his thing. Really doing a great job running the football.
Another step in the right direction for the defense. No big plays, low yardage.
The defense is what stood out to me because that's going to dictate their ceiling. Offense, they're running like a well-oiled ship. Defense looks significantly improved.
State Farm postgame, we'll get your reaction to this one. Catch you up on the whole day in the Big Ten coming up next.
All right, Dave. Greg Schiano, a moment ago, heart rate still elevated. He was trying to get his guys amped up here before this next drive.
It's the passion of the coach right there. I mean, this guy has an edge to him, and he has been ignited at this point, trying to get his guys to finish strong.
Well, they've got tough field position. Going to try to just run it with Langen, and he'll get him some breathing room out to the 10. They got off to the 3-0 start, Rutgers. Last week they hosted Iowa. It was their first sellout in Big Ten play in 6 seasons, and they just couldn't get the offense going. Now you drop to 3-2 here, but I still think this is a team that could be on their way to another bowl.
Yes, they had to win those first 3 games, and I thought they looked really good, especially in situations where things didn't go their way. They found a way to respond to it. Now you're looking down the Big Ten East schedule. It's certainly difficult, but this is an improved team to me. I like their chances. I mean, you get a Nebraska team that's wounded. Indiana, I don't know what they really are right now. You know, they've got a couple wins still out there. You just got to find their way to 6.
Now on 2nd and 3. And a good surge and a first down. Speaking of Indiana and Nebraska, by the way, they are coming up tonight under the lights in Lincoln. Big Ten football presented by Hampton by Hilton. 7:30 Eastern, Big Ten Network, Fox Sports app. Yeah, Indiana, it's been tough to make much of what's going on with the Hoosiers. You also have a Nebraska program, obviously, with a change at head coach, and they're very much in flux right now.
Yeah, Nebraska is coming off of a bye week, I believe, as well. So it was time for them to regroup and press the reset button and see if they can't get everything aligned. Indiana, many things that I like about them, many places where I see that they're still deficient. So going to be a challenge for them to pull it all together.
Samuel Brown is escorted out of bounds. Well, you heard the guys in studio, and Jake Butt said this Ohio State team will go as far as his defense can. He said basically the offense isn't the issue. How good is his defense? How good do you think this defense is?
I think this defense is improved. We talked to Jim Knowles, and he thinks there's a long way to go. I agree with that statement from him. I believe there still is a long way to go, but I'll also throw this out here. If Ohio State is consistently giving you 40-plus points, this defense is good enough to win those football games. So I think that the improvements there, you can see the shift in the mentality and the aggression that exists too.
Well, that offense came in averaging 49 a game, and they've done it again. Here's pressure, and down goes Simon. Coming off the edge with the pressure, Ryan Turner, the freshman, a corner blitz, and he dropped it for a 6-yard loss.
Just coming off the edge right there. Can't even see him, can't pick him up. That's a great play for a young player. Again, just got through talking about the aggression of this defense. They've created many negative plays today, and that's what they want their identity to be.
Yeah, 6 of them, 6 tackles for a loss. This is the stage of the game where Buckeye fans kind of get a glimpse of the future with these young guys out there. 3rd down and 9. Simon, well, it's just been a tough day. 10 of 19, 74 yards passing as he puts that one in the dirt. 4th down, and they'll punt it. Well, you talked about Jim Knowles coming in as his first season as a defensive coordinator after being under Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State. Paid $2 million a year to fix this defense. As you said, he thinks there needs to be some improvements, but I really think they like what they've got in Jim Knowles.
They do, and he has really changed things around. The thing that's happened for this Ohio State defense is the players bought in immediately to what Jim Knowles was telling them and how he was going to help them improve. I think that was the first step right there, but as they get guys healthy back in that secondary, I think this defense takes another step.
15-second break, and we'll be right back to Columbus.
With Sonic's 2 for $5 menu, you get 2 delicious things for only $5, which is helpful if you struggle with decision making. The Sonic 2 for $5 menu.
Sonic.
So Ohio State's defense gets another stop. You mentioned some of the guys that have been dinged up. Cam Brown, cornerback, missed again today, as did Cam Martinez in that secondary. And earlier we saw Tanner McAllister, who's a really key piece of the puzzle, go out with injury.
Yes, and it's tough. Nobody wants to deal with injuries because your 2s aren't as good as your 1s. Ohio State has recruited at a really high level at many positions, so the depth aspect of it is better than what most teams would have. But you're talking about high end, especially as you get into the meat of this Big Ten schedule, they're going to want to be all hands on deck.
There's McAllister staying on the sideline but never returned to action. New quarterback in the game. They hand it off to Hayden. He's tackled for a loss. So now you've got a freshman and a quarterback in Devin Brown joining Hayden, the other freshman at running back.
Devin Brown is a more athletic quarterback. They like the profile, his ability to extend plays with his legs, even get involved in the run game if necessary. And Ryan Day has talked about creating opportunities for these guys to get valuable reps in game situations.
He was a number 5 rated quarterback in this past year's class. He originally committed to the USC Trojans, but then flipped over to the
in COVID checks going to jailed, hardened criminals. Taxing Tim Ryan. Higher taxes, criminal spending. Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
A workhorse, an icon, a legend. These are accolades reserved for the one truck that dominates the rest. Ford F-Series, the best-selling truck in America for 45 years. With best-in-class available towing and payload, F-150 stands alone. Designed to be tough from the ground up. Check out new inventory arriving daily, or visit your Northeast Ohio Ford dealer and custom order your new F-150 today.
I'm standing with law enforcement to crack down on drug dealers and help those stuck in the cycle of addiction. I passed legislation making college tuition more affordable, and I delivered relief for Ohio families by lowering taxes. I will never stop working for you.
Nathan Manning for State Senate.
I'm Senator Christina Rogner. I love Ohio and the people I serve, balancing our budget, lowering taxes, promoting Ohio energy, passing bills to help teachers, doctors, nurses, and physical therapists. Real work, helping real people.
Christina Rogner for State Senate.
Register today for the News 5K, October 30th.
For the first time ever, Clemson and NC State facing off in an AP Top 10 matchup. You get it tonight under the lights, prime time on ABC. In fact, this game's the first time NC State will play in an AP Top 10 matchup in school history. What will the Wolfpack have in store on the road? Can't wait to find out. Booger and Kevin here in studio. Alabama, Arkansas, the Tide on the road, the storyline. Bryce Young here trying to extend the play and escape, and then he goes down hard, right shoulder.
Yeah, Bryce has been running a lot more this year, Kev. You can see as he goes down, he's trying to throw the football away, and that right arm gets extended, puts a lot of pressure on that shoulder. He came back in, tried to throw, was very uncomfortable.
You saw the frustration there, went into the locker room, came back, as Boog mentioned, warmed up in the second half, did not play in this game again. Jalen Milroe, the backup, four-star quarterback, played 7 games, so he has some experience. Really, that experience is running with the football. How about this? Bama up 28-0. Arkansas scores a touchdown, and how about the perfectly executed onside kick?
Yeah, I love it. The 2 inside guys go and block. The kicker goes and kicks it to himself and gets the ball. And then the long snapper, he must have some sweat or grease on the ball because he inexplicably snaps it way to the right.
Oh, special teams there. So they get the onside, they get 3 points. Then off the botch snap on the punt, that would lead to Raheem Sanders. Suddenly, 28-0 is 28-23.
And everybody thought, hold on.
Yes, we did. But this can't happen. If you're Arkansas's defense, Milroe's one of those guys that he's thinking run first and then bye-bye.
Without a doubt. You know he's not going to throw the football, Kel, but he drops back, and then he says, I will holler, strike up the band.
77 yards, and this is one of those games where everybody else around Alabama has to step up without the reigning Heisman winner. And there it is. Jahmyr Gibbs finds the hole. Bye-bye.
Maybe RB #1 if he comes out in the draft, Kev. Unbelievable speed, great athleticism. Not only one long touchdown, but he added another one, Kev.
Yeah.
Outstanding performance.
72 yards on that run. He had another 76-yard touchdown run. 2 touchdowns for him. That breathing room for Milroe as he needs it. 49-26, Bama in control. Milroe so far, 4 of 9, 65 yards, 94 yards on the ground. Okay, so there was some panic here.
Yes, a lot of it.
28-0 and 28-23, and it's like, uh-oh, what are you going to do? What did you see from Bama in the second half to respond with those big plays?
Well, the running game took over. The offensive line came off the ball. You saw Milroe, maybe not as experienced as a passer, but his athleticism running the ball. And then, Kev, here's the thing. Jahmyr Gibbs transfers from Georgia Tech to Alabama for moments like this.
Yes.
Allow me to run the football and show you what I can do. The speed, the athleticism, the vision. Alabama turned the game over to their ground game, and that's how they were able to win.
Listen, this team has a ton of talent, especially the wide receiver position, but they're not the first rounders that we've been accustomed to. Right. These are guys that are getting used to it, and that's why you mentioned Bryce Young extending plays.
Yes.
If you lose him, we have no idea what the report is and, you know, what's going to happen here when they have tests looking at this shoulder. But if you lose him for some time, what concerns you?
Well, what concerns me is their ability to be explosive in the passing game. They were already struggling throwing the football with Bryce Young, but Bryce, being the Heisman Trophy winner, was able to make up for the inexperience at wide receiver. Now, if he's out any extended period of time, you can't just line up and run the ball against everybody. You need to have the threat of the pass, and right now, Milroe is not as experienced throwing the football, so they're going to have to figure out how can you win football games. Today, they did it with the ground game. Going forward, let's see.
Especially their October schedule.
Yes,
they got Tennessee in a couple of weeks. Next week, it's Texas A&M, and who knows who's going to show up for the Aggies? I think that's the big question.
I don't know if Texas A&M can score.
Oh, that's the question, right? We've been asking that week in and week out. Number 17 in the country on the road at Mississippi State. We know Mississippi State can score, and that is Will Rogers and Rufus Harvey. But when you're down to Mississippi State, you have to answer back. We didn't see that from the Aggies, though.
The Aggies have been struggling all season, Kevin. They got a lot of talent. They just struggle scoring the football, Kevin. Then special teams. What happens when they show up? That punt, the kick gets blocked. The outside guy comes and scoops it up and says, hey, strike up the band, ring the cowbells, Kev.
Yeah, DeCarmarian Richardson recovering it into the house. And again, they can't find the end zone, so it's now 21-3. Dylan Johnson with the 1-yard score. Just a lot of long looks on the sidelines for A&M.
And when the offense can't score, that puts so much pressure on the defense to be perfect.
All right, right now it's 35-17 Mississippi State late in the fourth quarter. Earlier today, Kentucky taking on Ole Miss, top 15 matchup. This is the bread and butter for Ole Miss this year, running the football.
It's the running game, Kev. Regardless of the transfer Jackson Dart, they want to run the football, and that puts a lot of pressure. Their defense, here you have Will Levis not understanding where he is on the goal line. At some point, you got to, and then he has the west side finger he throws up.
That's a dislocated finger on his non-throwing hand. He would stay in the game. And then Jordan Dingle muscling, and we're tied at 19. Late in the fourth, Kentucky down 3, 3rd and 2. Levis to Berrien Brown, and he'll move the chains, and plus a lot more.
Great play by Brown, but what about the hustle from the Ole Miss defense, saving the touchdown, allowing them to defend some more grass?
Look, they had a touchdown called back. Then the next play, Levis, and that's a fumble.
Again, the internal clock, you got to know, 1,001, 1,002, the ball's got to come out. He holds it, sack, fumble, ball game.
Ole Miss, and look at this is not Ken Dorsey. This is the opposite.
Oh, put your shirt down. Put your shirt down.
They don't care.
No. America
They don't care.
America does.
First 5-0 start since 2014. Big 12 championship rematch. We've got Baylor and Oklahoma State, and the Cowboys already up 16-3. Opening kick in the second half. Jaden Nixon, bye-bye. Good luck catching him. Taking it to the house.
Very surprising, the lack of tackling from a Dave Aranda-led team in Baylor.
Baylor fans stunned. That says it all. They're down by 20. Then Spencer Sanders. And then watch this catch from Braden Johnson. Nice! Well done, the concentration, 49 yards. They would score on the next play to make it 30-17. Here comes, though, Baylor. Blake Shapen to Monterey Baldwin. And he'll find the end zone, 70 yards, and Baylor, after the 2-point conversion, it's a 1-score game.
Yeah, the outburst earlier on by Oklahoma State forced Baylor to come out of their comfort zone and be a throwing team on the day.
Shapen, sidelines, no.
And that's when they struggled, Kev. They got out of their comfort zone. They couldn't run the football, and eventually Shapen made some mistakes.
Jason Taylor, the second, getting the pick, and Oklahoma State remains undefeated. What do we make of Oklahoma? They lost last week to Kansas State, now taking on undefeated TCU. This is the quarterback, Max Duggan, 67 yards to the house.
Play. It was a zone read off the defensive end. He crashed, and the quarterback with wheels to burn, Kev.
Scary moment. Dylan Gabriel for Oklahoma goes down. Jamoy Hodge thrown out for targeting, but really it was Gabriel's health we were worried about.
And with everything we saw on Thursday Night Football with Tua Tagovailoa, you had to be concerned for Gabriel.
He would not return. Brett Venables' defense, they give up 55 points.
And you got to wonder, Brett Venables is a defensive coach. He comes from Clemson now. Where's the defense? Or should I say, when is it going to come with him to Oklahoma?
Oklahoma's largest loss against an unranked team since 1998. Undefeated TCU and undefeated Kansas next week because the Jayhawks, how about this, taking on Iowa State, and Daniel Hishaw going into the end zone. It was reviewed. That is, touchdown. The Jayhawks, a football school right now. Hunter Decker in for Iowa State. Trouble. Kobe Bryant, what a play.
Yeah, did you say undefeated Kansas?
Undefeated Kansas coming in. They would stay that way, led by Jalen Daniels, the quarterback from L.A., having a fine season.
And if you really want to be honest, I know we got a lot of names out there. Bryce Young, he should be the Heisman favorite right now.
Heisman in September, if you're going to give it out. Right? And then Hunter Decker's the Easton Dean for 9 yards. But here's the storyline. Iowa State, they missed 3 field goals.
One job. Put the ball through the yellow pipes.
And Kansas, rank them. Rank them. They win 14-11.
And game day, go there next
That would
week.
be amazing against TCU. Both teams undefeated. Meanwhile, Adrian Martinez, a week after taking over against Oklahoma with his signature game, he was fantastic against Texas Tech.
I just love the bounce back. You don't rest on your laurels. You beat Oklahoma, and you say, you know what? I'm coming back, and I'm going to put a stamp on last week's game, and they did that.
Martinez has been through so much through the years at Nebraska. Look at him winning the race. 171 yards on the ground, 116 in the air, 4 total touchdowns. Right now, he's the ultimate weapon. He is not turning the football over.
And when you don't turn the football over, it allows your team to play from ahead, and their defense is playing well. I like what they're doing in Manhattan, Kansas.
37-28 Kansas State. Meanwhile, Ohio State, at one point, Rutgers was up 7-0. It was the first time in the series that they've ever been up against the Buckeyes, but then Mayan Williams takes over on the ground attack. He had 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, them being up didn't last long, Kevin. You know, this is the most explosive wide receiver group in America. It was just a matter of time. CJ, I see you.
I mean, he's got so many options. Julian Fleming, and then there's Williams with the run. No Trevion Henderson sighting, no Jackson Smith and Jigba, and no problem for the Buckeyes.
We've been seeing a lot more Mayan Williams, the more physical running back. They turn to him sometimes when they get in trouble. Today, they didn't need him, but he pounded the football all day long.
Look, it's not fair when you look at it. It's just like watching a video game with their options.
Yeah, as long as they start with the run, Kev, they're going to be tough to beat.
Mentioned starting with the run. We got that with Michigan on the road at Iowa. Ronnie Bell taking the pitch. Listen, Iowa's defense coming in, they had only given up 23 points all season. They gave up 27 today.
Love the play call. Suck the defense up and then hand the end around.
What do you think of J.J. McCarthy's growth?
His speed and athleticism, more importantly, his poise gives him an extra advantage, and that's why he won the job at Michigan.
And then the stability in the background, I should say in the backfield, that is Blake Corum.
When in doubt, Kev, give it to him. He has the unique ability. You put him in the hole one-on-one with the defender, he can make a miss.
Michigan wins. Meanwhile, they've got Penn State in a couple weeks. Penn State taking on Northwestern, and let's update you on that score. They get the win on the road 17-7. Never pretty with the Nittany Lions this season, but they are undefeated so
and
far.
If you're Northwestern, man, it seems like a long time since we were in Ireland, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. That's the last time they won. They haven't won on U.S. soil this season.
It's been a long time.
Minnesota's undefeated season comes to an end. They would lose at home to Purdue.
Must have been a hole in the boat today.
Not good. They can't run the football. Meanwhile, number 12, Utah taking on Oregon State. Chance Nolan to Clark Phillips, who runs it back to the house. Pick 6 there. 14-7 Utes. Cam Rising. Utah, they lose the opener. But this is a team no one wants to play, no matter what.
No doubt, Kev. Understand, Kyle Whittingham is going to always have his team ready to play the head coach. And you know, even after that disappointment in Gainesville, they would bounce back. And they still have an opportunity to be a Pac-12 champion.
And Utah, next week, at 5-0 UCLA. The Fighting Chip Kellys. We'll learn a heck of a lot about those two teams.
About both teams.
Yes. The catch of the day. It is Liberty Old Dominion. Liberty's Javian Lofton. He makes this look so easy, but this is unbelievable.
One thing I can observe from that, Kev, he's got some big hands.
Oh, heck yeah. That was a backhand.
Oh, unreal there.
That game on ESPN Plus. Right now, Liberty with the lead. Louisville, Boston College, Malik Cunningham. Got some time. One of those quiet production seasons by Malik Cunningham. Always getting it done for Louisville, finding Amari Huggins-Bruce. And then Phil Jerkovic takes it himself, 33 yards. BC's been beat up. This game kept on going back and forth, but Connor Lighton for BC is the difference. Yeah, 26 yards out. And how about Boston College? Beat up, and they get the win at home, 34-33. North Carolina, they needed a week like this.
Yeah, maybe Mac will be happy this week after last week.
Maybe.
Just a little bit.
When you got Drake May, 5 total touchdowns. He had a fantastic afternoon. 4-1, that is North Carolina. You're going to be there, of course, Monday Night Countdown leading up to Monday Night Football. Rams, 49ers. You got Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on the call, then Peyton and Eli on ESPN2. Death Valley Boog, is this Death Valley 2, that environment?
No. First of all, this is the fake Death Valley. The real Death Valley is in Baton Rouge. We just allowed them to call themselves since they've won a little bit more recently.
Clemson's defense ready to go tonight. Good show.
In Northeast Ohio, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the SUVs of the future for everyone. Ford Explorer, an IIHS top safety pick. Built with Bliss to detect vehicles in your blind spot and available with automatic emergency braking to help you feel more confident on the road. And with new inventory arriving daily, the Explorer of the future isn't built for a few. They're built for you. Only from your Northeast Ohio Ford dealers.
Congratulations. You're here.
Are you back?
Heard about the new class. I see something in them. They just need a chance.
Gonna be okay, okay.
It's your journey. Own every mile in the Hyundai Elantra. Get 3.29% APR or $500 bonus cash on the Elantra with new inventory arriving daily. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
Is having fun a great way to spend our time? Bingo. And what's a surefire way to have fun? Bingo. Yeah, seriously. Bingo! But not tried and true bingo. This Ohio lottery game right here, it's called Bingo times 50. At only $10 a play, Bingo times 50 can multiply winnings up to 50 times and has prizes of up to 500 grand. As someone who loves fun, should you play Bingo times 50 from the Ohio lottery? The answer is kind of obvious. Bingo.
Now, your local news and weather update from News 5.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tara Morgan. Here's a look at our top stories. The Akron Post of the Ohio State Highway Patrol is investigating a deadly early morning crash. It happened around 2:30 a.m. on State Route 18 in Bath Township. Highway Patrol says 26-year-old Joseph Perry Jr. of Elyria ran into the back of a semi before crossing the roadway and crashing into a ditch. Perry died at the scene. We're told he was not wearing a seatbelt at the time. The driver of the semi was not hurt. The crash remains under investigation. Tonight, there's a call to stop the violence in Northeast Ohio. This comes after local leaders say they've had enough and are now doing something about it. News 5's Remy Murray gives us the details.
Also better communication.
At a Stop the Violence rally at Glenville High School in Cleveland.
We got to do it together. We can't do it separately.
Gail Reese is calling on local leaders and organizations to stand as one to stop youth violence in the community.
We cannot sit back as the community and not do something.
My house got shot up at 47 Boulevard.